From across Maryland, Virginia, and the District, this is Washington's 24-hour local news leader. News Channel 8's Live Tonight starts right now. You're watching News Channel 8. More local, more often.
A Senate panel has overwhelmingly endorsed Hillary Clinton for Secretary of State. This week's vote was 16-1, the single holdout, Republican David Vitter of Louisiana. He says he's concerned about former President Bill Clinton's charitable donations from overseas. The vote is a critical first step. A full Senate vote will take place after President-elect Obama takes office. Well, joining me now live with more on the international impact of the confirmation of Hillary Clinton is Ritu Sharma, founder of Women Thrive. And thank you so much for being here
tonight. Thanks, Beverly.
At her hearing earlier this week, there was a lot of emphasis on development, particularly for young women and poor women around the world. And your motto is, and I want to quote it here, when you teach a woman to fish, everybody eats. What does this mean?
Well, that's exactly right. And what that means is that around the world, and in our country too, women are often responsible for their families. They're responsible for feeding their children, for feeding the elders, for feeding the sick. So when you teach a man to fish, he eats. But when you teach a woman to fish, she's going to feed the entire community.
Now, her confirmation hearing also stressed that this development as being and needing to be a pillar of foreign policy. Is that a change that you're hoping to see, assuming that the full Senate confirms her to be Secretary of State?
Well, I think the full Senate will confirm her to be the Secretary of State. And to have a Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and President Obama, the stars are really aligning for investments in international assistance around the world to be front and center, and for them to come on par with our defense, which we absolutely need to have, and stronger diplomacy, because the new hope, I think, for the world is that America's face will be one that is both strength and compassion and smarts.
And how does what you think that the Secretary will work on mesh with what you're trying to do with Women Thrive?
Well, she is absolutely committed to women's issues around the world. She always has been. It comes from her heart as well as her head. And we expect that early on in her reign there at Secretary at the State Department, that she will have a very strong office or a very strong function to promote the issues of women and girls. I think it will show up in her diplomacy. I think she will bring these issues up with other governments when appropriate. And I think that she's going to push our Congress to invest more in women and girls around the world.
This is an issue that doesn't always get talked about at the table when diplomacy is being enacted by, and I don't want to stereotype, but when men are at the table, sometimes the plight of the world's poorest women and girls gets overlooked.
That is absolutely the truth. And I think that the reason for that is that we need more people speaking out more loudly and more clearly that when we invest in women and girls, it's absolutely the best investment that we can make.
And how can those of us in this country help, aside from whatever the government does, but just regular folks, how can they help women and girls around the world who need it?
Well, the most important thing to do is to learn more and to take action. You can learn more at our website, www.womenthrive.org, and get involved in the issues. If you're interested in getting involved in particular countries, you can learn more through our website.
And are there particular countries that need more attention than others? Is there an area of the world that you focus specifically on?
Well, I think there's a lot of attention on Afghanistan and Iraq and women in the Middle East, and there is absolutely a need there. But I think with Obama being president, we're going to hear more and do more in Africa, which is in many ways the forgotten continent. But we want to make sure that Africa is strong so that it doesn't become another tinderbox like what we're seeing in some of these countries in the Middle East.
All right, Ritu Sharma from Women Thrive. Good luck with your work, and thank you so much for coming in tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.